Child abuse has devastating effects. But through the unconditional love of one family, 12 abused children have hope of beginning new lives. Safe in Your Arms. In this special one-hour presentation, we'll look into the hearts and minds of these 12 children and the family that reached out to help them. Join us for Safe in Your Arms.
You're the type of friend I've always wanted.
There aren't enough seats in Portland's Memorial Coliseum for all the children in Oregon who were sexually abused, battered, or neglected in 1987. Without treatment, many of those children will go on to abuse others, filling our prisons, mental institutions, and drug and alcohol treatment centers. Today, 80% of convicted felons and 95% of convicted sex offenders in treatment say they were abused as children. During the next hour, you'll meet 12 abused children who may defy the odds. We'll take you inside this house in Oregon's wine country and show you how one family is trying to break the cycle of abuse and make us all safer. You will see powerful pictures and hear very strong language. It may be offensive to some of you, but we want to show you what's involved in trying to heal these deep wounds. One more word. The family uses some unorthodox methods that may not be appropriate for all families. And now, Safe in Your Arms.
Dear Mom, how are you? You are so special to me, and I wish instead of hitting me and walking away, you would hold me and talk about it instead of just getting stoned. I love you so much, sometimes it hurts, and sometimes I wish I never had to say goodbye. But it was a good thing. I love your son, David.
David was severely abused as a young child. He was removed from his home and then lived in several foster homes, where he says he was also abused.
I've been sexually abused by my dad. And raped by one of the boys.
Angie has been removed from 15 foster homes, partly because she tried to have sex with other children.
Even when I talk about it, I feel like it's still my fault because I let it happen or something like that.
Catherine, Angie's natural or birth sister, was also sexually abused. She went from foster home to foster home because she lied and stole.
I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember him telling me not to tell people.
Ananda was so traumatized by being sexually abused, she couldn't swallow and had to be fed through tubes.
What about around your genitals? Do you feel hurt in there? So take it, throw it away.
Each of these children is part of an Oregon family that's sole purpose is to help children heal. Former teacher Donna Bradley and her husband Joe head the family.
Okay, out of your legs. Now.
These kids have between 4 and 10 times higher chance of suicide, criminal activity, mental illness, and substance abuse because they've got so much going on underneath the surface.
If not for the Bradleys, most of the children would have been put in institutions, such as group homes or treatment centers.
Okay.
Pat Hudson is the Children's Services Division caseworker for many of the children.
We place a lot of what we call special needs children who have problems, of course. But the children that the Bradleys have taken have had extraordinary things happen to them. And so therefore they have some problems that other families just haven't been able to deal with, haven't been able to accept.
I see you saw a little rage in there.
We don't heal the children.
All we do is provide an environment. See, everybody is self-healing. You can never heal anybody of anything, ever.
We call it the what works method.
We try a theory, and if it works, we keep it. And if it doesn't work, then we try something else.
This is showing your other self inside you that you have rights.
The Bradleys try many things, and that has enabled them to help children some thought might never heal.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Come on.
As you'll see in the next hour, there is much pain, rage, and joy involved in trying to make these children feel safe in their parents' arms.
Are you ready to wake up? Yeah. Good morning. It's breakfast time, cuddle time, pancake and fruit cocktail time.
Morning in the Bradley home.
Morning.
I didn't wake up at 6 today.
The children didn't always wake up this happy. They have been battered, sexually abused, or severely neglected.
Very often children tell us stories that are really metaphors, but even the fact that they can make up these stories, these kinds of torture, tell us that something very real and very awful happened.
Added grass and chalk and rocks.
Kanta came from India, where she lived in an orphanage with 400 children.
All the babies were dying around me and stuff, and we had to bury them.
With some broken glass.
Thanks, Manju.
Manju lived in India too with his mother. She belonged to a religious sect that believes children belong to God. He says he was left to wander the streets.
Oh, I just walked around and all. Sometimes I would be walking until the morning, from the morning to another morning.
So we need Catherine and Angie and we can start our morning meeting.
Donna and Joe couldn't have children of their own, so 10 years ago they started taking in foster children and then adopting them.
You know, we really hadn't set out to take difficult children. We thought way back when, when we first went out to adopt a baby who turned out to be Kai, that we were going to get, a child as close to coming out of birth as possible, and it wouldn't have any problems.
I had a dream about this movie.
Kai was abandoned by his birth mother and abused in a foster home. At 1.5 years, he was diagnosed autistic and retarded.
To paraphrase Bill Cosby or whoever it is, God made us do it in the sense that this is what came. After a while, we got to realizing that maybe God had a plan and we should notice what the pattern was, and the pattern was that it was children who had been sexually abused and battered, and that we somehow had skills and information that helped that process turn around.
Your birth mom used to lock your door?
Not my birth mom, but my stepmom.
Although Donna and Joe used to have professional jobs, they now work with their children full-time.
Are you David?
Most of their income comes from private donations. Only 20% comes from the state for their special needs kids. And they do have special needs.
Okay, now tell Daddy your dream.
Akos is Ananda's birth brother. He was neglected by his birth mother and was moved from home to home because he was so hard to handle.
He would alternately kick and scream and throw temper tantrums and destroy things, and then he would turn the destruction on himself and go curl into a fetal ball and scream, don't hit me, I'll die.
I know, we glued it.
Fred reportedly endured years of sexual abuse and battering by his father. He joined the Bradleys, labeled psychotic.
He'll come to me and he'll say, want to put this knife where somebody will step on it. And I say, you want to do that, Fred? He says, I want to, I don't. And so he has that balance in himself, so he doesn't scare me anymore.
Both Fred and his birth sister Robin, who was also abused, remain silent most of the time.
It's early in the morning, isn't it? Can I touch your foot? Give me your foot. No, that's your hand.
Barbie has been diagnosed autistic, retarded, and schizophrenic. When she came to the Bradleys, she screamed night and day, and like many autistic children, abused herself.
She had pulled out a lot of her hair, and she had scraped the sides off of her face, and she rocked, and when she was really scared, she would beat her head against the wall until there were bruises across the front of her head.
Daddy, somebody got an apple in your thing.
Brandy is the Bradleys' newest. She is Angie and Catherine's birth sister.
Her mother took a lot of her rage out on her, including at one point picking her up by the heels and slamming her face against the wall. She had to have oral surgery, and she had epilepsy because of this.
Good question, Ellie.
Can you do that, Fred? You'll be in charge of it not coming off the counter, okay?
The rest of the family is made up of older kids, such as Kelly, who spent years in a mental institution.
See you later.
Good luck.
Kylan, you're inspired to fill up this mess, aren't you?
Other adults serve as volunteers and teachers. None of their children have suffered abuse, but they're not afraid to let them spend time with children who have.
It's incredible. I watch my children get to have this huge family of love around them. I mean, even though Shira and Isaac get in fights or sometimes have a hard time with the kids, basically what they're getting is, 20 people who are really saying, hey, I want to spend time with you. I care about you. You're special. I love you.
Now, calm down and remember, you're not going to starve. There's food. And you're taken care of, okay?
They have a lot of food panic, just terrified that there won't be enough food. And Angie says that's from being left alone for a day or two at a time.
Oh, they're getting in a mud fight out there. I was thinking.
The family calls itself Celebrations because they celebrate everything, even what they call the hard stuff. And there is plenty of hard stuff.
Don't hurt yourself. No. Yes. No, don't hurt yourself. No. Yes. Yeah. No way. You don't hurt yourself in this family. Yes.
David and Akos have been fighting. Akos turns his violence on himself, trying to pull his hair out.
What? No. No. I will let go as soon as I'm sure you won't hurt yourself.
I haven't seen this behavior
I
in
know, this
years.
is his 4-year-old. This is the first Akos I ever saw. What memory came up, my dear?
A memory starts to surface, and they don't want to look at it because it's so terrifying. And so then they have to start a fight with someone in the family to help it break loose.
Yeah, see, this brings it up for everybody.
And I hate you too, Catherine. I love you, Akos. Bullshit. I do. Fat ass. I don't.
Hey, try to fight, Kylie. Back
Hey,
off.
Akos. Even if not listening to you. Even if you do say that, Akos, it doesn't mean I don't like you, and it doesn't mean I don't have to stop liking myself. Okay?
You've still got this hate that somebody put into you. And today it saw kind of a chink in the wall and it said, oh, I can get out.
Because even when you lose it, people don't stop loving you. I sure don't.
What stays inside under the surface directs them. So our job is to get the energy out, but help them not seriously hurt themselves or anybody else, and to retrain them to put something in place of memory, like you're a good person.
You teach me a lot.
Akos apologizes to Nicole for biting her in the midst of the fight. Now it's David's turn to work through his anger.
It scares me to find out I have that much rage inside me.
David is reminded of his abuse by his drug-addicted mother.
David, what's the worst part?
I don't like hurting kids. It really scares me and thinks I'm gonna grow up and hurt my kids and hurt myself and be just like my mom.
There's not much chance of that, David, because you're getting it out now and you're having people to help you deal with your rage. See, you two must love each other a lot to be willing to set up this lesson with each other, since you can't get your birth moms to fight it out with you.
After children fight, Donna and Joe get them each to say 2 things they like about the other child.
I like that me and you can fight and argue and pull each other's hair and bite and scratch and bang heads and stab each other's pencils and still be friends.
Kids know that no matter what they do, we're not going to stop loving them and we're not going to give them away.
You're the type of friend I've always wanted.
Well, now you got one.
For life.
For life,
Yep.
yeah.
And give each. David, should I put Shammy's saddle on now?
The Bradleys have 2 horses, given to them by neighbors.
If you even nudge her in the belly the wrong way, she'll start running. So hold on and squeeze with your knees.
Horses aren't everything, but horses are one of the things that gets them up and moving and out. You know, and once a kid is moving, it gives the child an outlet for its energy, and that energy can go real mean sometimes when the child feels like it's a bad kid.
All right, Brandy, way to go.
Rusty, Marley.
There is plenty of room to get out that energy. The Bradleys recently moved from a small community near Grants Pass to a 100-acre farm in Oregon's wine country.
In order to heal, they have to act out. And if we have them in a city, they get really bad feedback for acting out. You know, if there is a house next door, they'll probably go and steal, you know, because they just don't know any other way. So we made sure that we got enough land so that there's a buffer between us and the neighbors.
That you suffering pig. Did I say something funny?
Yeah, you want to get They can swear when they need to, and it doesn't offend anybody. And people know what they're getting into when they come here.
Ray Kaliski is a frequent visitor.
Hi.
Hey, welcome home.
Hi, ooh, boy.
He met the Bradleys through friends 2.5 years ago at their Southern Oregon home, which he calls a shabbily built community center.
We come waltzing in our designer city clothes, and we just sort of felt very much out of place. But we were made to feel very much at home. We were thoroughly impressed from both our intellectual point of view, and our hearts were certainly pulled by the stories that we heard about these children.
Yeah, he's got muscles.
Ray was so impressed, he became a regular contributor to the family. Eventually, he gave up his work as a real estate developer and yacht broker to help the Bradleys full-time for free.
I just made a conscious choice to stop the work that I was doing, which was not financially fruitful for me anyway, and devote my time to see that the Bradleys find a new place to live, because their home was totally inadequate.
Now, Ray's full-time unpaid job is fundraising for the Bradleys. He finds it more fulfilling than climbing the corporate ladder.
I'd climb a ladder to the top, I'd look around, and there wouldn't be anybody home. All there'd be would be more ladders to climb.
Come on, you guys. School time. Let's go.
5, 10, 15, 20, 10, 15, 20.
The Bradleys' home serves as a school for the children, too.
Head through the middle.
That'd be 150.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good, Frederick. Talking so clearly.
107.
My wildest dream for school is that there be this perfect public school system in the sky who can just take all of my kids and teach them how wonderful they are and get them back to their natural state of really wanting to learn.
Good. How many syllables? One. Very good. Oh.
And very often, children who are being abused at home have a great stake in failing at school because it's their way of putting out a scream that says, I'm not safe, something's not right here.
Minya. Zavud. Angela.
The Bradleys are considering putting some of their older kids in public school, but they say it's a risk because abused children are more likely to get into drugs or sex.
Brandy.
They have so much internal stress from the traumas that they've had that when external stress comes at them from the behaviors and the stresses and the limitations that are put upon them in a regular school setting, it's more than they can really manage.
Everybody sitting down so I can come down the line and help you. Okay?
There's a formal learning period during the day where we teach them the mechanics of writing and mathematics and composition, computer science, that sort of thing. But the teaching goes on really, almost every hour of every day, because they always have access to us. They're always asking questions, and we're always trying to answer those questions.
So, what are you angry about?
You gotta have a sense of humor about this. If you don't have a sense of humor, you're lost.
So, Brandy, we cannot do this with your zipper unzipped.
The children are about to learn more about themselves. They are preparing for an anger circle.
Just close your eyes and feel what it feels like for people to hold you down and not take care of you, or to rape you, or to batter you, or whatever they've done to you, or just to ignore you, and then beat on your pillow. Yeah, good, okay.
There's so much rage zipping around, and it's always coming out in inappropriate ways. And so we invented the anger circle concept, just the idea that you could be angry when we encouraged you to get in touch with your anger, but you could also stop that anger.
My pillows all the times I got beat up by my mom.
Okay.
And my foster home nanny.
Why did you throw me against the wall? You cried so much, I couldn't stand it. You! Joel! I didn't know how to take care of you. You were screaming. You were drunk and I don't appreciate it! My right to get drunk.
The adults pretend they are the abusers.
It's not that we want the children to go back and be able to beat up their birth parents or beat up the rapist. It's symbolic. It's being able to stand up and say, no, I didn't deserve that.
Come on now, Coase. I'm out of here. Just get by on your own.
To me, it's also therapeutic to get in there and get involved in their anger. You know, I look at my own anger and see what comes up for me in my own anger, and I've got my share about how the way the government has worked in many of the things they've done, and certainly some childhood anger that probably hasn't been totally healed myself.
And what would you like to say to me?
Why you punch me in the face, you bitch?
A lot of my old memories come up. And it's good that they come up, but it's also really scary. When I start remembering stuff, I start feeling like I'm not safe here and the same things are going to happen to me again.
Okay, listen. Brandy, Angie, I know it's hard, but notice for a minute that you're safe. Right in the middle, look and see yourself. See yourself being held? And because you're so safe, you can get all this old sadness out of your body. Okay, now you can go back to crying. Okay.
The crying goes on for another 10 minutes.
Now, what you're going to do is wrap it back up. Can you wrap it up? No, wrap it up. Make a promise to your rage that you just won't leave it there. It can't come out and sneak on you when you're asleep and giving you bad dreams, because you're in charge. So you tell it right now that you're in charge of it.
I'm in charge.
Yeah, you're in charge of this rage. Put it on the shelf. Close the door.
All right.
Here's how good you feel.
Even if it is play, pretending, whatever, it's still sometimes it feels real. And that's a lot of what kept me alive, is my anger. Otherwise, I probably would have just gave up, either died or gone retarded or something. I had to go to an institution. But it's not going to happen anymore.
Is the light of the world. Blessed is the light upon people.
Most nights, the family holds a Sabbath ceremony.
Sabbath comes originally from the word sabbatu, which means to return to or listen to the heart. And it's really important to be able to have the knowledge of how to listen to your own self, to that still small voice. Because that's the way God speaks to you most directly.
Yes, thank yous.
At Sabbath, everyone gets an opportunity to talk about what they're sorry for, proud of, or thankful for.
And I have a thank you to Bede and Denise, even if they're not here for doing school with us today.
A wonderful side product, or whatever of it is, that these children who used to have so many nightmares have almost completely stopped their nightmares, because we deal with all of the symbols consciously.
I just have a thank you to God for me being alive all those times when I thought about killing myself.
And you didn't.
We look at it as healing, and so it's uncomfortable, and it's long, and it's intense, and it's worth it. It's like putting money in the bank rather than spending it right now and knowing that later you're going to have this wonderful party. And that's what we do with these children, is later it's going to be this wonderful party, and part of the time already we're partying.
The family looks forward to a party tomorrow, but for now, it's been a long, hard day.
Okay, let Mommy get calm for a minute, okay?
Ananda is sad this morning. Donna thinks a memory is trying to surface.
Ananda came demanding to be sexual with us, and she would come up and just give us a hug and say, "Is it in yet?" And we had to keep saying, "We're not going to make love with you. That's not how we show our love in this family."
So what I'm going to do is just get you relaxed enough so that you can remember what God's trying to tell you.
When Ananda first came, she was typical of children who had been sexually abused. You would think that they would be afraid of sexuality, and in fact they are, but they're like a car horn that's got stuck on. And that channel is playing all the time, and it's the way they think they will stay alive.
You're not asleep. You're not hypnotized. You're not any of those things. You're just relaxed. And I'm going to take you down inside yourself to the point where you know yourself the best and there's no lies.
Although Ananda has healed a lot and no longer acts out sexually, the memories stay.
I'm going to try to talk to each tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, there come the tears. Good. Okay. And you would talk to them, and did it feel like they didn't hear you, or it felt like you weren't a real person, or what?
They just sit there.
Was it because you were a little kid, because you were 4 years old?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you know when you first started getting raped, when you first started getting beat up, you were 1.5, and you couldn't even talk yet. You couldn't explain it to people.
There is more that's upsetting Ananda.
Having Brandy with us was like...
Oh! So getting a new sister who's so crazy reminds you of living with your stepmom when she beat you up so badly? Well, thank you. I didn't understand that one. How are Brandy and your stepmom the same?
They both act the same.
They act the same? Like in what ways? Give me an example.
Like, Abby's like yelling.
Okay. Ask what it is that you need to make you feel better so you can be happy today.
She said I just need to go through it.
Yeah, that's usually it. All right, come out, come out.
Donna leaves Ananda upstairs to rest and goes downstairs to find out why the house is so quiet.
I was losing it, and I wanted to be honest enough to say, look, I'm losing it. You all go out and play with the horses. Then you all went out and you were losing it with the horses because you had your own stuff going on. So that's why we're having this meeting right now.
What happened, Mommy? We were discussing kids feeling useful because what happened this morning is kids were pretending to do cleanup but not really doing it.
Oh, Angie.
And
Let's have you both stop, okay?
I know.
Brandy disrupts the meeting.
No. This is my body, okay?
Brandy, remember when I got angry at you this morning? Okay, you got the same energy right now.
Right.
You're not listening.
Yeah, you need to make no.
If I thought that Brandy was going to stay this way forever, I would just give up today. I'd gladly let her go to an institution or whatever, because she is too destructive in the family.
What's happening with Brandy is typical. She's been with the family just 3 weeks.
I put them in a home, and there's a honeymoon period where they're nicey nice until they find out that the foster or adoptive parent can handle the deeper parts of themselves, and they bring out some of the deeper part. If the parent can handle that, they go to a deeper part. Most parents are told, 6 months to a year, and this kid will be just like your own. And it's not true. It's a process that goes on over a period of years.
For some reason, I sort of hate her guts, and I sort of don't. Because I can't get used to her. She won't let anybody.
Kai and Brandy have been fighting.
Okay. And the grossest thing I don't like is when she slobbers. I don't like that. I said, Brandy, when you do that,
You know why
it's gonna
I
make
slobber?
me
Because it's my medication.
Brandy is on medications for her epilepsy. She hasn't had a seizure since she's been with the Bradleys. She used to have at least one a week, but she's still having a hard time with the other kids.
But did you know that every single new kid who's come, the old kids have said, I don't want this kid, I don't like it. Did you?
I will never say that.
Yeah, you will. When we get a new kid, you'll see, I promise, because what happens is you just get to feeling safe. And then somebody new comes in and starts screaming and making people
Mommy, like in the
again.
starting when we were going to get Brandy, I wanted Brandy more than Vaughn, but I didn't want either of them.
I understand.
I don't want a new kid.
I want it in a circle. Maybe you want a bun?
It is hardest for Brandy's birth sisters, Angie and Catherine.
Mom? Mommy?
Yeah.
Catherine was crying. I'm just sad because me and Angie and Brandy are fighting.
You're gonna fight. Your birth sisters who have just come together after 8 years. And you remind each other of your birth mom, and you remind each other of all the hurt that happened there. Do you need to talk to Angie or Brandy about it? You want to give them a hug? Angie, Brandy, come here. This kid has something she needs to clear with you.
We turn them around and get them to face the pain that they're afraid to face. But you know, they're as afraid to face the joy because they've seen over and over again themselves let down their guard and then get hurt. And so we're teaching them how to be really sad and really enraged and really joyful and really safe, and which is which on a given day.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I know we won't argue anymore.
No, yes, you will.
Yes, you will.
You'll argue a lot, but it'll finally get finished. Okay, go get ready.
Today is a day to be joyful. The Bradleys are taking a field trip to Portland. The family's going to OMSI, a nice restaurant, and roller skating. The bus was loaned to them by a church.
We celebrate just as intensely as we process the old hurt. But the reason we can play so well and celebrate so well is because we're not faking, because we've dealt with the hurt. And so when we celebrate, it's real.
Hey, you're in charge.
All right, let's go.
Ray arranged the trip. Part of his fundraising job involves getting trips like this donated. The family benefits, but so do the contributors.
I feel they get rewarded instantly when they meet the family, and they catch the charisma and the love that exudes from the children and from the staff and the Bradleys themselves.
Okay, who's in for 7-Up?
Dinner at the Chart House in Portland.
Fred, you want my cherry, Fred?
I just feel that the kids deserve it because of who they are. They need to be in the community, and I think that they can. There is no reason that I can see that they should be in the community any other way than any other family.
The children love to roller skate, but their parents say even that is therapy.
It's as therapeutic as the anger circles or anything else that we do with them. Music gets them out there and they're zipping around really fast. They feel very powerful and very in control. And it's healing.
The family helps not just the kids, but many who come in contact with them.
They experience the joy. And so why I'm here is to allow the rest of the world to see that joy and know that they can have it too. All they have to do is observe and understand that the joy is there.
Oh, look, there's the dog. Remember?
Every so often, caseworkers from the Children's Services Division come to visit the Bradleys.
Did you find Angie?
Mm-hmm.
She's here. Angie.
Angie, where are you? Look at you. Don't you look beautiful? Oh.
And if she has
Where you going to go, sweetheart?
Where are you going to go? You want an orange? You want an orange?
Oh, you're going to give Virginia a hug. Okay. That's what
That's much nicer.
Oh,
Barbie.
How
wonderful.
Virginia is Barbie's caseworker. She's known her since she was a baby.
She would exhaust you to be around her more than just a few minutes because the screaming and the moaning it never stopped. This has changed so much that it's hard to believe that this is the same child that was doing those things before.
This is such a step forward for Barbie.
She's happy. Just to look at her, I can see how happy she is. It's just, to me, it's just amazing that the security, the affection, the acceptance that she gets with this family, it's just has changed her so much.
You want to come sit on my lap and show her that you have a mommy?
Here we go.
Hi. Hi.
I just see some real changes in you since the last time I was here.
She's doing hard work the last couple months. She's letting go.
I feel frustrated for CSD because I think that it's like calling a doctor after a kid's already been run over and saying, fix it.
I wish for you a good life.
She's gonna have it.
Robin wants to include her birth mother in her life. Pat has given her the means to do that by giving her her grandmother's phone number.
It's very hard for a lot of people who would like to adopt children to understand that a child both hates the abuser and also loves them because that's the parent. But there is a real acceptance with the Bradleys that this is part of the child, and that along with the hate is the love.
Hi, my name is Joe Bradley.
Joe gets through to Robin and Fred's grandmother, then their birth mother. The children haven't spoken to her in 6 years.
I bet you would. Okay, hold on a minute.
Hello. Hi. Good. I love you.
We have all of us inside of us, me included, an incredible yearning for our parents. It's something built into ourselves, from when we were children, and it's still there even when we were very, very old. It says, I want to be held, I want to be cradled, I want to be taken care of, I want to be told that the world's a safe place and I'm an okay person.
I don't know what to say. Say I love you. I love you.
It's not that I want to replace their birth parents, but I want some time for the pain to stop. I want them to look at me and say, I'm finally home. I feel safe. I don't have to look anymore. It stopped hurting, and it doesn't.
Hi. How you doing? Is there anything you want to know about him? Yeah, we have a private school that we run, and we have teachers here. So we have about one teacher to every 5 kids, and it works out real well.
We need to educate, and we need to do preventive medicine in the sense of helping people learn how to parent long before these situations arise, because this is not normal.
So I can't get you, somewhere in your head that you're going to come back and that you're all going to be able to live together again. And I'm sorry, I wish it would work out that way, but it can't. But you're a big part of their life, and I wish you would come visit.
Fred and Robin's birth mom says she'll try to come for a visit.
No problem. And we'll keep in touch, okay? All right. Bye.
You two are very brave, and you're going to feel really, really vulnerable. Really, really sad and angry and abandoned and hopeful for the next few days. So you should let us hold you. How did she sound? Was she like you remembered her?
I know about the suicide rate of these kids and the mental illness rate, and I don't want to add to that. I want my children completely healed, and I believe total healing is possible.
She sounded a little more together.
Good. I'm glad.
So are you two real clear that we want you to love her? And we want you to reconnect? And that you're going to be our kid too, and you're going to live with us? There's no choice in that. You hear that, Fred? So it's hot chocolate time.
God, you hurt me like hell.
God, not on her neck.
If you can get them scared enough, which sounds cruel, but you just have to get the adrenaline moving, they can't hold up the wall. They can't hold up their barrier between you and them. And so we do all sorts of physical activity.
The Bradleys have 2 children visiting today, Jenny and Brianna. Brianna was sexually abused by a family friend, and Jenny has had severe behavioral problems. The children's mother, Sue.
She never listened, didn't obey, got into fights with other kids, had a foul mouth. And so I was dealing with all this stuff with her. I couldn't even leave her alone with neighbor kids. I had to go tell the neighbor's parents, yes, if you leave your kid alone, she's liable to act out sexually. Oh, what does that mean? Oh, that means you might have oral sex with your child.
Come here. What happened? You got crunched?
I was throwing on the floor and I hurt my arm.
The Bradleys provide counseling to many children and parents outside their family. They've worked with Jenny, Brianna, and Sue 2.5 years.
And you should take care of her because it feels good to take care of her. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Sue says if it weren't for the Bradleys, Children's Services Division would have taken Jenny away. She says the problems stemming from her children's abuse drove her to abuse.
I started spanking her, and I spanked her harder, and then I got verbally abusive with her. And I chased her around and said real terrible, like, I hate you, and I'm going to, put you in foster care, really bad things.
Yeah, it does. Can you tell me a time it reminds you about? When you got molested? Yeah, I thought so. So now what we need to do is cry that time instead of this time. Can you cry about when you got molested? Let's get it up.
The Bradleys have taught Sue and her children to express their feelings honestly.
I just literally stick my head out the door, I go, "Ugh!" And that's okay. And I'll say, I'm just really pissed right now. And so those are ways that I've learned to deal with my own anger, so I don't spank him, or I don't hit him, or I don't scream something really terrible at him.
Yeah, you feel all the places you got scared when you got raped? Okay, so you need to take it and let it go out of your body. Yeah, out it goes. Yeah.
My family is really healing because of their help.
That was really nice. I forgot to tell you, Manju, thanks for giving the girls those little pencils that you brought back.
The Bradleys have helped many families, and they hope to help more.
People call us up and say, fix my kid. And we don't want to fix their kid. We want the whole family to operate together. And so we hope to have lots of camps and workshops, both for parents who batter and for parents who are afraid they might batter someday, and just for families who want to learn how to celebrate each other.
Well, the moss has been alive all winter, but lots of things are just starting to blossom now. Mommy.
The Bradleys hope to become self-sufficient as they learn to farm their land, raising filberts and winter wheat. But they say what really matters is raising their children.
The pollen drops out of this and makes new baby trees, but what's this?
Some of my children will grow up and go to college and do all the things that are termed successful. And some of them will be alive, which will be the miracle. Just sit there in their bodies and happy about being alive.
Manju, Mom.
Ooh, fungus.
Yeah.
And look at the inside of the fur.
Yeah.
The children say they are happy now, and they have happy dreams for the future.
Mommy, I'll go get something down from here and give it to you guys.
I'm going to be a person that does break dance, sometimes lives on the streets, not really. Doesn't do drugs or anything.
Blossom!
on! Starting the boomerang. Well, they would on.
Yesterday I was walking around with the dog pretending that I was taking care of my kids, so I won't abuse my kids when I grow up.
I want to be a traveler. I want to be almost everything. I want to go explore, like, kind of like be an archaeologist. And I plan to have at least 100 horses to take care of.
So for just a minute, let's hold hands and just sit and think how lucky we are to have each other. And that we've all finally come home. And that we never have to leave until we want to, and we'll always have a place to come back to.
Once a month, the Bradleys hold a ceremony called Honor the Children.
Okay, so hold your apple cider, and just the grown-ups right now are going to call out what they love and cherish about Brandy. So, can you hold it like this, Brandy? Okay, and let all of our love flow into that cup for you.
When I think of who Brandy will be even a year from now, then it becomes this wonderful challenge, and I know we're going to be laughing soon. So it's worth it.
Brandy, I love how you call me Daddy, and even though I can't mean much yet for you, because you just got here, it's a placeholder, and I really appreciate it.
Each child gets a turn.
I like how you love people. Even though you're kind of shy sometimes and sort of reserved, and yet you'll jump somebody out of nowhere because you do love them.
There was a study done about children who grew up to become successful, and it turned out that it wasn't whether their parents were strict or lenient or any of those things, but their parents thought they were the best kid in the world. And that's how I feel about my kids, is that they're each heroes.
And you amaze me because you put out such shyness and sometimes such torturedness in your soul. And then you just come up and you throw your arms around me with this big grin.
It's wonderful to go see these children now. They're able to look at you directly. They're able to be humorous and have fun. Their behaviors aren't bizarre. They're just doing very well. I'm delighted. I'm just delighted.
Fred, hi. I want to thank you for being my friend and for talking to me sometimes when you don't talk to anyone else. We're creating something that truly comes from the heart. It may not make any sense on paper. It may not make any sense to anyone who is institutionalized in their thinking. But to the human in us, it will make great sense.
I never have to guess how crazy you are because you're healed enough, you're sane enough to tell me. And it'll keep you from ever poisoning the kids or stabbing them or all the other things you tell me you want to do. So you have more courage than anybody I've ever known for every day telling me 20 ways that you want to torture people and that you're not going to do. So thank you for doing that.
You just really have to think they're the best, and if you do, then it's inevitable that they heal.
Helping children heal is the goal the Bradleys work towards every day. Donna and Joe know they can't change society, can't solve the larger problems of sexual abuse, battering, and neglect, but they may help a few fortunate children break the tragic cycle of abuse, and that may make all of us safer.
Family sleeping.